so one of the things I wanted to cover tonight, we'll mainly do a Q&A session for the most part tonight, but I did want to cover a software that me and Mike love for all different types of stuff. As you can see here on the left corner, we have a lot of team management stuff and a lot of personal management stuff on this software. But this software is called Notion. So if you don't already have experience with Notion, Notion is kind of a fully encompassing software that you can be able to have like habit trackers, and you can have task management, project management, content calendars, and all different types of stuff. So one of the things I just wanted to cover tonight that I think would be good to implement with all of y'all is getting in the hang of a content calendar and a task list. So Notion makes it incredibly easy to create these, and literally it's so simple a caveman can do it. So basically what you do here in Notion is they have a bunch of pre-made templates that are perfect. That's all we need. We don't need to get fancy with it. So you can see, like, I started with private just because it's easier. So I clicked add a new page, and this is what it comes with, just like a clean page like this. And you can see this button right here is templates. So there's a ton of different templates they have. I'm like running a demo right now, but there's going to be a point to this. But as you can see on the right side, there's tons of different use cases for this. So, you know, there's different categories: project management, sales, support, other, personal, marketing, human resources, all different type of use cases. But for this use case, what I'm going to talk about is content calendars and task lists. So first thing, you'll go to marketing, and you can see content calendar is already laid out for you. So when you press this, you're going to use the template, and then we are going to delete like this kind of like mock version of this. And I want to show you exactly how we use this. So how I personally use it, because I've been living by this lately with my content, is I have this idea column. I have a ready for caption column. I have a ready to post. And then I have a published column. So this is how I lay out my actual content calendar. And what's cool about the content calendar is you can use it as like a pipeline for your content ideas, and you can actually schedule them. So as you can see here, if I press this new button, it creates a card. And from here, I can actually, you know, outline this piece of content. So let's say it's just an idea. I can put the idea as the title up here. I can put the status as an idea, and then I can actually get this thing going and be able to process it. One quick second here. This dude's being a little crazy. Alrighty. So let's say I had an idea about like how to get rid of anxiety at any given moment, right? Let's say I came up with that idea and this was a real idea. So now I've got that laid out, and what's cool about it is I can actually lay out my own template. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys today to get this thing set up, is when you press this drop down, you can create a template for this. So how I create mine is I have a caption. Sorry ahead of time, guys. Caption, content, and then hashtags section that I lay out. So for instance, my content is like a Google Drive link to the piece of content that I've actually created for this piece. I'll type my caption out ahead of time under this caption column or piece of this, and then I'll type my hashtags right here. So this is kind of like the template that I use for each piece of content, and then I can actually use that to outline my content further. So let's say I came up with this idea, I would be able to lay it out with my caption, with my content, with my hashtags. And then when I want to actually schedule it, I can have the publication date be a certain date. So let's say I wanted to lay out this piece of content for Wednesday, and I wanted it to be a specific time. Let's say Wednesday at, 10 a.m. like trying to maneuver with one arm because that Rocky's attacking my other arm. But we're gonna make it through this call with hopefully little hiccups. But as you can see, now that I've set up that deadline time or that publication date to be January 19th at 10 a.m., I've got my idea laid out. And then theoretically, I would have my caption, my post, and my hashtags down here. Now, all I would really have to do is I can switch the way that I'm viewing this this content calendar to the actual deadline calendar. And now, or I'm sorry, the launch calendar. And you can see that I am able to see it in a calendar view that this piece of content is listed right here as a piece of content that's being posted on the 19th. So what's really cool about this is like it's got all different layers to it with Notion. Like I can just brain dump a bunch of ideas into this column and then I can move them along. So for instance, this is an idea. Let's say I created this piece of content. I could move it over to ready for caption. And then I know what needs captions. I know what's just an idea that's not filmed yet. I know what's ready to post. And then when it is ready to post, I can actually schedule it using this publication date and then be able to see it in a content calendar just like this. So the one drawback of Notion is that with the content calendar itself, you can't actually like automate the posting. Like you can't schedule like a Facebook post or an Instagram post specifically from this content calendar, but it's very useful in a sense of, you know, getting all your ideas together, really keeping yourself consistent with content. Like I look at this one is like one that I have right now, right? So this is all content that's already created that just needs captions. Once it has the caption finished, it'll be dragged over to ready to post. And then when it's posted, I'll drag it there. So that's like it actively being used. You can see that I've got stuff laid out. But this is super useful because a lot of times we can feel lost with content in general. Like we're just kind of, you know, spur of the moment. Oh, I haven't posted in like a month. I'm just going to throw together a post. And this allows you to brain dump all of your ideas and see your ideas, what you have, what you haven't created, what you have created, and then actually schedule it out into a launch calendar where once you have this thing filled out, you'll have all your content laid out and it'll be super easy. And the cool thing is once we reach January 19th at 10 a.m., it would actually notify you in the all updates section up here. So you would get notified that you had a post to post at, you know, on Instagram or whatever the case may be. So super useful tool for a content calendar. Just wanted to cover that because I think, you know, a lot of us like actively create content or we want to actively create content, but we're a little bit unorganized with it. Like I said, just spur of the moment. Oh, I have this content idea or whatever the case may be. Outlining your content in this way definitely helps you actually be consistent. Like I've probably been the most consistent that I've been in a long time with social media content the past like 2 months or so. And the reasoning is because I'm actually outlining my content into a content calendar and being a lot more intentional about it. So like I said, this is literally already laid out as a template. All you have to do is add a new page and then choose the content calendar template. So that's the content calendar piece that I wanted to cover. The next piece that I think you guys should all use as well, if you're not currently using a task management software, is when you add a new page and go to templates, we can actually go to, I believe it's personal, and we can go to task list. And this is laid out very like it's pretty much laid out the same way, but as you can see, like there's to do, doing, done, right? Super simple task list. But what I do all the time is I literally brain dump like everything I have to do, whether it's life stuff, whether it's business stuff, and I keep it in this to do column. And then every day I'll just drag 5 items to doing that I need to get done for the day. And then that allows me to filter everything that needs to be done. I never forget what needs to be done because it's always on this task list. And I'm able to actually like move my business forward, my life forward in a way that's organized without, you know, feeling lost and feeling like I forget everything, because I'm definitely one of those people where if I don't write it down, I forget it. So same kind of thing with this. It's a similar structure. So you can create your own like actual template of how these cards are laid out. For instance, like this one here, it is already set up. It's like a breath of fresh air when Rocky lays down during a group coaching call lately. Um, but I could actually have like a daily to-do list. So let's say that I wanted to mark this as 11722, right? Now, if I put this as to do, I can put like a to-do list. Let's say I needed to, whatever, like all my tasks that I had to get done for the day, and it's organized by day. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it, and it's a very, very user-friendly platform. Like as you guys can see, I just created a content calendar and a task list in like literally 2 clicks. So I definitely highly recommend you guys start to use Notion to your advantage. It's absolutely free, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. So there are paid versions of Notion. You don't need them. Like we have, I don't know, we have like 20 people on Notion right now and, 20 team members on Notion, and none of them are a paid subscription. So you don't need to pay for Notion. It's free. And it's a platform that will allow you to really organize your content ideas, organize your task lists, all that fun stuff. And there's really even more capabilities. Like I said, if you dive into these templates, there's all different types of stuff: reading lists, travel planners, like, roadmaps, if you wanted like meeting notes, sales assets, all different types of stuff. So I wanted to cover this because this is a topic that we like normally don't really cover that much with these coaching calls. Like a lot of these coaching calls are tactical, business strategy or sales or something like that. And we don't really cover a lot of the back end side of business. That's like really making sure that you're staying organized, that you're structured, and that you have everything you need to succeed on a daily basis. So I highly recommend that you guys check into Notion. Like I said, starting off with a basic to-do list or a basic content calendar would be a really good start. And then from there, you can kind of expand and use the platform to any way that you want. But yeah, I just wanted to cover that for today. Mike, do you have anything to add in regards to Notion itself?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I think we could go on and on and on for weeks about Notion and all the shit that we use it for. Um, but yeah, overall, I mean, it's like legit like my go-to for anything like task related, notes related. Like I have like journals set up, even like a shiny penny section like of a journal where it's like, hey, this is something that came up in my mind. I want to dump it out, but it's not necessarily something that's attached to like my business or the production of what I'm currently focused on, but I want to keep it in like my back pocket type of thing. So that's kind of like the biggest thing, like is just using it for like a tool that's just, a place where you can just dump everything in an organized way and put it into play as far as actually getting shit done. But there's a video that I created inside of the modules that talks about like kind of like the core four template, and that's made inside of Notion, and it's kind of using a mixture of what Mike was covering here. But it's more so just, just leveraging, just an overall like a daily structure. And I also did a training in the past, which I think I know it's uploaded on our YouTube channel. And it's in this course or in the Telegram chat somewhere as a replay. But I can find the direct link or the direct video if you guys want to just let me know. And that one covers like kind of like an MQ, or it's an SQL template, as far as like a way that you can leverage, like keeping track of like the people that you talk to on coaching calls, sales calls, that type of stuff, and just kind of like a hard CRM that's outside of our app, and it's a little bit more user friendly as far as like the customization from it. But yeah, overall, just a really fire platform. Like I suggest like just diving into, setting up some basic things like kind of like that core four template, like a task list, like Mike was showing, a content calendar, and then just playing with the overall like templates that you can use inside of Notion. But yeah, super fire platform. Like Mike said, it's completely free. Especially as far as like what anybody in here would need to use it for. You wouldn't need like the paid version. Um, but yeah, check it out, dive into it, definitely grab it, and yeah, let us know if you have any specific questions about how to use it or anything like that, any type of ideas, I'm more than happy to do like further videos or trainings, about other ways to leverage it. But Mike just dropped a link in the automated coaching engine chat here. So check it out, download the app. There's a mobile app, desktop app. So it's a pretty cool platform to use, but cool.
Perfect. Yeah, so I just dropped the link in the actual automated coaching engine chat for you guys if any of you are interested in setting it up. Like I said, I mean, preparing is a huge piece of business, and making sure that we're prepared in all areas is a huge thing across the board. Like every one of our team members creates a task list in Notion every single day. We create task lists every single day. We have personal task lists, business task lists, content calendars. Like literally everything we do is in Notion, so we swear by it. That's why I thought it would be solid to bring up in this call. Like I said, we don't normally cover things like this, but it's a free tool for you guys to stay organized in your process of content creation, task management, and all that stuff. So I hope that this kind of helps you guys out with something that you can leverage to, become more organized with your business and become more systemized. But we will go ahead and open up questions. So does anybody have any questions, not just about Notion, but anything in general when it comes to your coaching business? Feel free to unmute if you have any questions.
Everything all good? All good?
Hey everyone.
What's
Mike,
up,
I
Alexa?
sent you a message, but that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Which one, me or Mike A?
A.
Beauty. Sounds good. I'm sure he'll get back to you shortly. But sounds good. Anything else that we can help you with, Alexa?
So what I messaged him was just clarity on responding, and I know that the lead generation team, like for the most part, that's their role to respond to prospects. So, but I saw a message, and I know we hadn't hit one of those yet. So I messaged Pamela like, "Hey, is this a good response?" So I guess my question is, well, I don't really have a question, but it's a statement. Just continuing to find the right wording in response, like when somebody says, "Well, tell me a little bit more about what you do." So yeah, that's my current standing. But yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I did see I have a unread from you, so I'll go ahead and get back to you like as soon as possible on that message you did send over. But yeah, we definitely want to just get reps with it. Like messaging, the big thing to understand with messaging in regards to frequently asked questions and different stuff like that is it's always a testing process. Like me and Mike use completely different responses or follow-ups than we used to use a year ago. It's all like market based. So what I would always do with a question that comes in lead gen that you might not know exactly how to respond to is like use your first instinct of what feels right. And if it doesn't work, pivot from there. A lot of times just like going with what feels right will be the right response. And who knows if it resonates, if it doesn't resonate, it's just one out of many opportunities that will come throughout the process, so I wouldn't like overthink too much about certain responses. Just allow it to be something that feels right for that given question. And I know part of it is because you're making a pivot from like the health side to more of the life coaching side, so you're starting to get a handle of like how to actually verbalize your offer and whatnot. But continuing to use that layout of the offer that we worked on together will help you out, so just using that as like a frame of reference of how to word your offer and how to lay something out will allow you to kind of pivot different responses and see what works and what doesn't.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, another thing is too is like if you ever have like any questions about like how to respond to something that you either see or one of the team members sends in as far as like them getting additional help, feel free to tag us in it directly, and I'll be more than happy to put my eyes on it. That's what I deal with like pretty much all day long. Like as far as the internal team, they send me like questions, or things that people send in the outreach process. They manage like 8 accounts, I think, as far as the internal team. So I'm just dealing with that on my end. The entire day, crafting responses, coming up with different things to test. So I definitely think I have a wide vocabulary as far as what I've seen work and not work, and just kind of like the overall like structure that the messages need to run with. But yeah, like feel free like anytime, like really with any type of responses or anything that comes in, like, hey Mike, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And I'll put my 2 cents into it. The biggest thing is like most of the time, like I don't see those messages before they're already handled, but sometimes I'll chime in like, hey, in the future, let's respond to it this way, type of thing. But yeah, overall, I mean, like that's definitely something that we're down to collaborate on. But like Mike's saying, like overall, like your first instinct is usually the best. Usually we say just ship it. Just send it out there, record the content, send it out there. Type up the message, send it out there. It all kind of follows that same like ship it mentality, and see what happens and optimize from there. Like that's the biggest thing that we can do is rely on kind of like the results and the experience. And on our end, I think that's probably where we can definitely help out, just because this whole process is something that we've been following like pretty religiously for the last like 4 years. So we definitely have a good idea as to like what works and what doesn't. But yeah, more than happy to collaborate on that. Like anytime you want a second eye on something, tag us in a message in your group channel, and I'll check it out, and put my 2 cents on it.
Okay, bet. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything else, Alexa, or anything you want to add, Mike?
No,
I'm
okay.
good.
Perfect. I think I saw some other unmutes when we had opened up questions. Does anybody have any other questions?
Hey, so I actually just had a question. I noticed that you guys, you can add a link to that content calendar. Can you guys add photos as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, you can add photos, you can add links, you can embed videos. Like I I hate to say it because it's annoying answer, but like there's almost like no real ceiling to Notion. Like there's a lot of different embeds and a lot of different things you can do. But yes, you can just add photos directly to those cards.
Okay, perfect. Just because I know me personally, I'm a very visual person, so I love seeing like what I'll be posting. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, it's definitely helpful in that way of just being able to lay everything out and embed the images. So yeah, that's totally doable. And welcome, because I haven't had the chance to chat with you yet. I'm excited for our call tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I know this is the first training, and I'm really excited to, meet everybody on here and learn and grow for sure.
Of course, we're excited to have you. Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions at all? Like this can be, not Notion related, whatever you guys got going on or whatever you're working on, we're happy to jam on. Or we can have social hour like Roxanne was trying to have. If there's no question, we can just socialize. That's fine too. I'm cool with whatever. I'm on shift for another 28 minutes, so whatever we want to do, I'm down for it.
Yeah, legit. Anybody doing anything fun this past weekend? Where are you guys all from?
I'm in DC. It snowed a little bit. What was that? Yesterday. That's about it. A little snow day.
Hey, so I'm from, I guess, close to Toronto in Canada, and we had a blizzard today, so about 20 to 30 centimeters of snow.
Wow, damn.
Holy.
That's not. There's a lot of Canadians on this call right now, actually, I think, right?
Yeah. I was just gonna hop on and say, hey, Emily, I'm wondering if we're neighbors. I'm just outside of Toronto as well, so it's nice to know that you're here.
Oh, so nice meeting you. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm just like right on the border of Brampton and Caledon.
Okay, not too far. So I'm in Barrie.
Okay, not too far. And yes, a crap load of snow today.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
from
that typical, I would say, for those of you who think we're like way up north, but it does happen from time to time.
I'm
Yeah.
all the way up north
Oh, Roxanne, you're up north.
from
Where are you,
Toronto.
Rox?
I'm 3 hours away from Barrie, north from Barrie. So I'm 3 hours away from Emily.
Oh, wow.
And we just
Really
got
too, that's
we,
a
we
lot of
got
food.
we got 30 centimeters of snow today.
Holy.
That's insane. That's insane. It snowed here like in 2018 here in Georgia where I live, and man, the whole state shut down. It was insane. It was hilarious. Like I'm originally from Michigan, so like I'm well aware with kind of the winter weather and the inclement weather situations, but yeah, when I moved down here in 2018 actually, um it was like they were calling for the snow, and I went to the grocery store, everything was gone. I was like, holy shit, these people really prepare for this thing, like what's gonna happen, and so I call my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, we should probably try and get some dinner or something. I think like everything's gonna close, and it hadn't even started snowing yet and everything was closed. It was insane, but it was complete ice storm. Like it was insane. Like they have no preparation or tools, equipment to operate in it. It's pretty wild. Everything shut down. But yeah, it's kind of funny, like just hearing, like different areas. Like I was in Michigan this past weekend visiting family. It was -15, with the wind chill and stuff. I was like, holy, this is terrible. Like how do people live up here in this? This is crazy. But Alexa, DMV area, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. Actually, that's where I went to high school and stuff. So cool to connect with you in that regards.
Nice. And I was closer, so I went to Hampton. So on the weekends, sometimes we would go to Richmond because Hampton is very slow. Richmond was like the city. So cool. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Roxanne, did you have something?
No, I don't have anything.
Oh, I thought I thought I interrupted you. My apologies.
Oh no, I was just saying it was -40 here all weekend.
Holy God. That's wild.
I mean, we don't
Go ahead.
live in igloos, but we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I put myself in an interesting predicament today because I'm moving to Austin, Texas in the beginning of February from Colorado. So I posted my car that I currently have that I'm getting rid of on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like thinking, like I should post it now because it needs to sell by February 5th. And now I got like 350 messages in like 1 hour of posting it. So I'm like, oh shit, like what do I do now? Can't sell it now and be stuck at my apartment for 3.5 weeks. So we'll see what the move that I make with that.
Why are you guys moving to Texas, Mike?
With the
From Colorado. That's my hometown. I love it there.
I know, I love it here too, but I have a lot of like really good friends in Austin, Texas, and a lot of business connections out there. And there's a project that me and Mike are actually working on with two business partners that live in Austin, Texas. It's a app for the coaching industry that we're working on. So there's kind of like a few different projects, and I have a lot of friends out there and a lot of different stuff going on. I flew there 8 times in 2021. So I kind of decided like maybe I should just move there at this point.
That's awesome.
So
I feel like everyone is moving to Austin right now.
oh yeah, I know it's a huge hub right now. I mean, there's like 3,000 tech companies there now. Like there's a lot of emerging like work, opportunities, and yeah, I think a lot of people are moving there, especially with like, yeah, in general, just everything going on in the world. A lot of people are kind of migrating to those southern states, I feel like. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Just a lot of things to, figure out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I was like under the impression of, because, I've got like this car that's like, it's just been sitting outside of my apartment for like a year and a half. Like I don't drive it. It's really a piece of crap. And I've just like hung on to it because I owe $0 on it. I paid for it cash a while back. So it's just been sitting there. And I was like, there's no way that this like piece of SHIT is going to sell in the next like 3 weeks. So I was like nervous about it. And then all of a sudden I get hit with like 300 messages and I'm like, well, I guess I can take it off the market and post it later, I guess. But now I'm wondering if I should just get rid of it. I don't know. So
that doesn't shock me. I was at the dealer today and they had like all these signs up about, paying well over Blue Book value for vehicles because they're just, in demand right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what they're charging for used vehicles right now too. It's nuts. I got a car for my girlfriend like a month ago, and like it probably should have been like a $18,000 car or a $19,000 car, and it was listed at like 25. It was like a 2018 with 40,000 miles on it, Hyundai Tucson. It was like, it's wild what they're going for right now. Cars are like the most convenient pain in the ass in the whole world.
Literally.
For real. And when you live in a place where you have to have a car, you're like, I really hope nothing happens to my car right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the thing is like my idea right now is just to get rid of it and go to Austin with no car at first and see how it goes, because I'm gonna get one, like, but there's no real reason for me to get one out here and then drive that and the moving truck to Texas. Like I might as well get rid of everything I have here as far as the cars and then move to Texas and then get a car. So we will see how I can deal with Rocky and Ubers for, however long.
Will you be selling a property or are you just renting?
I'm just renting. So that's the good thing is like, because I'm mid-lease right now. So it's kind of like a spur of the moment decision to move. But I basically am like transferring to the same management company because that was like the best way to do it without having to pay like, $7,000 in rent in order to cut my lease off. So I'm transferring to the same management company in Austin because it's a lot easier that way for now. And then we'll see if I end up settling in Texas or not. I don't really see myself like settling there. To be honest with you, I absolutely love Colorado. Like it's amazing, but there's just more opportunity, more of my friends, and more of like shit going on in Austin than Colorado right now. So it makes more sense for me personally. Anybody else got anything fun going on?
Well, this is seriously like off topic, not that we're on a serious topic, but I'm just curious to hear what people are hearing from other people who are going through this whole like great resignation situation right now, and like what kind of work are people pivoting into.
Yeah, the what's that with like a lot of people leaving corporate?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy too because like I was listening to, I don't know if any of you have heard of Naval. I can never pronounce his last name. It's like Ramakan or something like that, but um he's got like this famous Joe Rogan interview, and yeah, he's a like modern day philosopher type of guy, but he like has this prediction that like by I forget what date he said, maybe by 2050, that he thinks that like everybody's going to be independent contractors with their own like skill set that they use to make money instead of working for corporations.
Yeah, I could see that. I have a lot of contacts in the medical industry, and it's interesting already to see what's happening in hospitals, you know, as they're bleeding out employees, and then these other smaller companies are basically providing services that the hospital still needs, but they won't pay people the right amount to do those jobs, so they're having to, you know, contract outside the hospital for these little companies to come work inside the hospital.
Huh. That's interesting. I always think about it with like now that I'm in like the online coaching space, I always think about teachers, you know? Because I feel like if you became like, and I know, you know, online learning for kids is definitely not the best situation, but like if you became an online teacher who was like an independent contractor for like homeschooled kids or something, which I think is like definitely rising. Like I feel like there's a lot more homeschooled children nowadays than maybe when I grew up, but um like you could probably double a teacher salary by doing that, you know? It's pretty interesting like the world that we live in that case.
Oh yeah, easily. And like I know that I worked with a client not long ago who is a younger teacher. She's like 28, but she has a really strong resume, and she left a private all boys school, and she went to work for a charter school in St. Louis, but she said that she was going to be like the oldest member on staff at the school, like everybody was like her age or younger, which is just so interesting to me.
Yeah, that's wild. It's so funny like when you think about that because I always see people that I went to high school with now that are teaching at like, you know, my old middle school, for instance, and I'm like, I don't know, I always thought my teachers were like 50 plus. You know, like when you're young, you have like this perception that your teachers are so much older than you, but there probably were a lot of them that were in like their late 20s.
Definitely. Yeah, I just think it's interesting to see sort of the separation in the mindset that I think as younger people become more and more confident and courageous, to see them sort of stepping away from organizations that still kind of are operating under this old school paradigm.
Yeah, for sure. Even like even the corporate work nowadays, you know, like my brother works for Amazon, in finance at Amazon, and he hasn't worked in an office since COVID hit. Um, and like all these organizations that are doing, I know like Vistaprint is like fully remote. They have like certain office buildings or different like co-working offices, but everything is full remote. Like I think that's probably where if corporations, I mean, they're always going to be around, but they're all going to have to go remote because young people just want options and to be able to travel and do what they want in life, you know? Um, I see that so much nowadays is like everybody wants remote work. That's probably the most attractive opportunity right now.
Yeah,
Well,
Mike,
and
think
it's a
about
healthier
Sean.
lifestyle.
Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, Mike, we had like a podcast earlier today with Sean. He's one of the guys here in this group, and he was talking about like hiring a like an account manager for his team. You know, like bringing on some more reps or some more people on his team as far as handling like client fulfillment type of thing. And he mentioned that like somebody from Google like submitted an application, and like that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, like he probably, you know, felt what it felt like to work at home, you know, throughout the pandemic type of thing, and he got put back in the office or something like that. And he was like, man, screw this, I can get a job working for somebody else and, you know, make just as good money and, you know, travel around, do what I want to do type of thing. So yeah, no, there's a lot of value in all of that.
Yeah, I was just commenting that overall it's a healthier lifestyle. You know, you think even just physically what it is to sit in an office versus when you're making your own hours and you're at home, you know, what you eat, even your ability to get out and move, I think is much healthier.
No, yeah, that's the huge thing. And it's like, it's wild to see the shift too with like, you know, for instance, with Austin and my move. I didn't even like this is how much of a digital age, I don't know, integrated human being I am nowadays. Is like I did not even hop on a FaceTime call with the property. I've never seen my property. I literally looked at the layout and I was like, cool, like send over my lease, I'll sign it, whatever, let's just do it because this is the easiest option right now. And it's kind of crazy because the last 3 moves that I've done have all been without me ever even touching the property. Like it was all completely remote. The two ones before this, I did like a FaceTime call so that I could see the apartment, but this one I just shipped it. I was like, whatever, let's get it done. But I mean, I know people who are buying like real estate absolutely like without ever going to the property, they're buying homes and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you think about trust, you know, and like what the digital age is doing to that, because I think we're kind of coming off of a lot of fear around like trusting other people, but I think in my experience, I really have found that on average people have been pretty trustworthy that I have interacted with. So
Yeah, without a doubt. I was definitely pretty sketched out today when I posted my car and got like 300 messages in like half a second. I was like, who is real and who's not real? Like that was like a thing. I was looking into like every Facebook profile that messaged me. It was pretty funny.
yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel like the longer you're online as well, at least for me, I feel like it's almost as though I'm developing a sixth sense about like fake people online.
Yeah, 100%. Anybody have any random questions that popped in while we were conversing and whatnot? Does anybody else have anything they want to jam on? Cool, cool. Well, Kevin, I know you popped in a little bit later on in the call, but we did a training in the beginning of the call on some stuff with Notion, a content calendar, and then a task list that you can build in Notion. So maybe check out the recording when we dropped it in so you can get a refresher on that. But Kevin, do you have any questions or anything I can help you out with?
Hey guys, no, I just I was a little bit late here, but yeah, I wanted to pop in here and see what was going on. So yeah, I'll check out the replay to start it off there for sure. I appreciate that. And no, nothing else. Nothing else at the top of my head here off right now. So yeah, otherwise, yeah, I'm all good, guys.
Awesome, awesome. Kevin's another Canadian, so we got another Canadian in the building. We have like I think out of like 9 participants or 10 participants in this call, like 4, 5, or 6, I don't know. I think 4 or 5 of them were Canadian. Funny. Would have
Cool.
never guessed. But I love it.
Well, we're about to get a good old Canadian snowstorm here in Winnipeg, so we're going to get about 20 centimeters. So I'll be working out the shovel tomorrow morning.
Nice. No workout tomorrow because you'll be too busy scooping the snow, huh?
Oh, 50-year-old back. Yeah, that'll be it.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, awesome. Anybody else have any last minute questions that popped up in their head, or is everybody all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. Cool. Well, it was great to converse a little bit on here. It was cool to have a little social half hour or so. I think it'd be cool to definitely set some more stuff up like that. Mike and I have some cool plans for towards the end of this year to do some cool like events and different things like that to try and put together. So I guess we might have to do an event in Canada, considering everybody's in Canada. So
Right.
Ontario.
we might be doing a Toronto event, which that's fine. That works for me. I've heard good things, so I'm down. But awesome. Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight.